Live, raw, uncut, and uncensored. It's just for clicks. Featuring your host, Michael Buckeister.
And what is up, guys? This is Just for Clicks, and I am Michael Buckeister. This is live, raw, and uncut sports talk coming at you here on the noon edition at rtfsportsnetwork.com. Hope everybody's had a great weekend, great week so far, and there has been some massive news come across the sports desk as of late. One of notably, obviously, is that Don Shula has officially died at the age of 90. Don Shula was a legendary coach for the Miami Dolphins for many, many years. And when this first came out, I'm going to be the first one to admit it. I thought it was fake news because of the sources that it was coming from. It was coming from like Daily Snark and whatnot. And when people started posting it and all this other crap, I never got any alerts, and I was like, there is no way this can be true. This is real. But yes, it is real. It is true. Don Shula has officially died at the age of 90. He was an amazing coach for the Miami Dolphins. I personally never got a chance to really see him coach or perfect anything, or anything to that effect. But unfortunately, it sucks. So before we get too deep in tonight's show, you guys are seeing that it is just me tonight. It is just the old Michael Buckeister, aka Buck, for all my friends out there. Little old Mike is feeling a little under the weather. He has the pre Cinco de Mayo curse going on over there. And like whatnot. So with that being said, Mike, get to feeling better and whatnot. But I have to bring something up for you here. Let me share my screen with you guys here. I came across this little post on the old interwebs while I was prepping for today's show. If you guys do not know what these drinks are, you are either A, too young, or B, you don't know what good soda is. Surge, Vault, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black. I never had that one. Trash. I mean, anything besides the original Mountain Dew is just not very good. Sundrop, trash. Kick, meh. But I want you guys to go ahead and vote here. Give me hashtag whatever drink of your choice of these six that it is. So we had Surge, Volt, Mountain Dew Pitch Black, Sundrop, Kick, and Mellow Yellow. I grew up on Surge and Mellow Yellow. And then when Surge had that relaunch a couple years ago, it may have been like last year or something. It just wasn't quite the same. Mellow Yellow has been long the favorite, and it's just it is amazing what Mellow Yellow has been able to do throughout the years and compete with the original Mountain Dew. If you guys are interested in joining the show tonight, though, there is a link in the comments on the YouTube channel and the Facebook page. All you got to do is simply click on that StreamYard link. It will bring you a guest here as Jameson is trying to join into us. He's having some technical difficulties on his side, but I will gladly bring you on. Any comments, any questions, or any just ranting and raving that you feel like having, feel free to bring it on. I am there's the man, the myth, the legend, Jameson. Good. How's good old Nebraska treating you, Jameson?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, man.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
It's all good, man. So we are live right here on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, guys. So feel free to jump in and chit chat anytime you want to. We do have a donation page if you guys are interested. If you guys enjoy anything about the show or just anything in general, feel free to go over to rtfsportsnetwork.com/just-for-clicks. There's a big bio page for the just for clicks, guys. Feel free to donate to that page. $1, $2 goes a long ways to help us out, put out better quality, put out better product. So for those of you that do not know Jameson is our marketing Facebook guru behind the scenes. So all the Facebook posts that you guys are seeing, that is Jameson, the man, the myth, the legend right there. He is on his high horse of getting news posted out there on the page and stuff like that. And Jameson, you posted something earlier today. Who are the top 5 quarterbacks currently in the league? First things first, who are your top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now?
I think Pat Mahomes is obviously number 1, and I would say Russell Wilson's number 2. And then you could go either way after that. I think I would still put the veterans, Brady, Breeze, and Rodgers in the top 5.
So there has been some controversy on the old Facebook chat there, or the comment section. People are throwing Lamar Jackson up there as number 2 or number 3. Patrick Mahomes is, I think, is first on everybody's list, but they threw up Lamar Jackson up there. Do you think Lamar Jackson deserves a top 5 spot? What does he have to do to get into the top 5 spot for you? Looks like we lost. There you are. Did you hear anything that I said? It looks like we're having some technical difficulties with Jameson there. It looks like his mic is muted. So with that being said, guys, Jameson's top 5. There you are. Little technical difficulties. Like I was saying there, how does Lamar Jackson get into the top 5? Yeah, it looks like we're still having some little bit of technical difficulties from Jameson there. So we will go ahead and get him back on track whenever he's dealing with those technical difficulties. But let's go ahead and get into the bulk of the show here, guys. So big news last week that Andy Dalton was cut by the Cincinnati Bengals. It did not take that long for Andy Dalton to find a new home. And that new home, Mike LeBlanc called it right here on the show. Mike called it Andy Dalton to the Dallas Cowboys. It is official. It is set in stone. 1 year, $7 million contract, $3 million guaranteed. And people are worried about Dak Prescott's job. They're worried about, is Andy Dalton there to take Dak Prescott's job? Is it Dak Prescott's job to earn now, and yada, yada, yada. And let me be flat honest. When Dak Prescott did not take that 5-year, $135 million contract that the Dallas Cowboys offered him, you were on the trading block, my man. You are not a top-tier quarterback. You're not going to get top-tier money by any means. And why not bring somebody in like Andy Dalton that can really, he has shown that he can take his lumps in Cincinnati. He had crap coaches, really nobody around him besides A.J. Green and a couple defensive players. So this is Andy Dalton's. I think once week 4, if Andy Dalton is not starting for the Dallas Cowboys, I'll be really, really surprised. Jameson, you are nodding your head in agreement here. What are your thoughts of Andy Dalton to the Cowboys?
Honestly, this sounds crazy, but I would, at least if I was Dallas, I'd just rescind the offer on Dak and let him walk.
I wouldn't let him walk because I think there are teams out there that could use his services. Just like I'm a firm believer that the Cincinnati Bengals should have never cut Andy Dalton in the first place. They should have traded him, got at least a 5th, 6th round, 7th round pick. It doesn't matter. Where did Tom Brady come from? 6th or 7th round. I can't remember exactly what his pick was, but it was very, very late. So I don't think the Cowboys can afford to let Dak Prescott walk. They could trade him. They need to add some depth in the offensive line in the next year. So definitely don't let him walk by any means. So that is crazy for you to say that.
Yeah, a possible trade scenario I could see is to Jacksonville for that Yannick. I can't pronounce his name necessarily, but Yannick, the one that's unhappy.
Right. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are unhappy in Jacksonville, but that's besides the point. So, yeah. So like I was saying, guys, Andy Dalton has officially signed to the Dallas Cowboys, and I will admit that I was wrong. I thought he was going to go to the Patriots. I thought it was already written in stone, It was just a matter of dotting the I's, crossing the T's type of thing. But then Dallas Cowboys, I think, kind of came out of surprise. Jameson, did you really think Andy Dalton would end up in the Cowboys uniform?
No, not really. But I mean, he's from Dallas, so it's not a huge surprise. But like, yeah, I didn't see it coming. I thought it was either Jacksonville or New England.
Yeah, and then after he signed with the Dallas Cowboys, there were people saying that he could possibly like he was in talks with Las Vegas Raiders as well. So let me ask you this question. Las Vegas Raiders have been trying to get rid of Carr as their quarterback since John Gruden has been coach. Whether you want to admit it or not, John Gruden does not like Carr. He brought in Marcus Mariota, I think, to replace Carr in that division or in that quarterback spot. But for some reason, he keeps striking out on these free agent quarterbacks. Do you think that John Gruden has kind of lost his touch over there in Oakland, that nobody wants to go play with, or I'm sorry, Las Vegas, that nobody wants to go play with him?
I don't know if he ever really had one. I know he got a lot of hype with the QB thing he had doing on ESPN, but I think honestly, it might have been a little bit of overhyped because he really hasn't proven it in a coaching and on as a head coach. So I mean he got to tamper with all the quarterbacks. So
Right.
I don't know. I think because Derek Carr, if you look at the numbers, he had a pretty good season. So I think he's nuts for messing with his confidence, frankly.
So I need to get you guys on the same page as Michael Buckheiser, the host of Just for Clicks. Guys, stop comparing these quarterbacks by numbers. It's asinine. Stop doing it. Do the eye test. Watch the football games and tell me that Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He is a tier 3 quarterback at best right now. I don't think he's a starter on any other team in the NFL. The only reason why he's a starter in Las Vegas Raiders right now is because they don't have anybody else. Let's be flat out honest with that. They don't have anybody else.
I think he's an average quarterback, but I do not believe there are 32 quarterbacks better than him.
Name 5 ones that are worse than he is, starting in the NFL.
Tyrod Taylor.
Starting is yet to be determined, but he is slated to be a starter. Yes.
Gardner Minshew.
Ooh.
Trubisky and Foles, so that's 4. Whichever one starts. So Trubisky or Foles. So I guess I'll just go with 3. Any of the rookies because they haven't proven anything.
Well, my co-host Mike here said that Joe Burrow is going to be better than Patrick Mahomes. So I'll be kind of intrigued to see how big bleeping Joe does in the NFL. But I think he's definitely better than Carr right now.
Eventually he might be, but I'm not sold on Carr because he only had one good year.
Yeah,
I mean not Carr, but Burrow. I mean Burrow only had one good season.
Right. Well, I mean he really only had one season to really prove himself, really, in the LSU uniform because he's from Ohio State, and I don't think he played he started. I don't think he started one game in Ohio State. Like that's why he transferred out. Yeah. But let's go ahead and move on here. Thursday, I believe is May 17th, is the big day that the NFL schedule comes out. They have a big 3-hour special happening, releasing all the games. And right here on Just for Clicks, guys, in the month of May, starting next week, we're going to break down each team and their free agent moves, starting with the AFC and then moving over to the NFC. And then once we get through that, we're going to go back and circle around to each team and give a win-loss record for each team. So we have a lot of football happening in May, June, and July. And then by the time August rolls around, the NFL season will start to kick off. So with that being said, it has been leaked or rumored, or I'm not for sure if it's been confirmed yet, but the London and Mexico games are no longer happening in the NFL per sources this season in the NFL, the 2020 season. Jameson, are you hurt by this?
Is that just for this year, or is that like going forward?
I believe it was just for this year because of the whole COVID-19 thing.
I'm not at all. Good riddance.
Yeah, like honestly, this doesn't hurt my feelings whatsoever because a couple years ago, the Rams and the Chiefs were supposed to play in Mexico City, and that game got nixed because they had a big concert and the field was all tore up.
The field was a disaster.
Yeah, the only thing I like about the London game is that it comes on like at 9:00 in the morning here, and I have a full day of football from 9 a.m. till 11 p.m. at night. It is football all day long. That's the only thing I like about the London game. Other than that, I could care less where they play, to be totally honest. I don't care that they're playing in London. I don't care that they're playing in Mexico. I don't care if they want to play in China or Australia or wherever else. The only thing that really upsets about me about this whole thing is that it is more or less taking a home game away from the quote home team over in London or Mexico. But I guess, but man, thinking out loud here, the NFL is going to a 17-game season starting next season. So maybe each team will play in a overseas game, like a London game, to kind of make up for losing that home game. Maybe I don't know. So you're kind of on the same boat as me. Like we could care less about the London and Mexico games.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean it is just crazy that we even thought about putting an NFL team. Alex says good. It is an American sport. I hope they don't go back. Alex.
Yep, that's right.
I don't think they will go back to Mexico because of the troubles that they've had with that field over the last couple years. I do remember at some point the NFL was looking to move a team to London, whether it be Jacksonville or some other team that's having trouble filling their home games. So, Jameson, let's bring that up. How would you feel if we had a NFL team move to London and they played 8 games in London every year?
I would hate it. I mean, I think cities like San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Oakland again. I think there are other cities in America. Heck, even Omaha, Nebraska. I think there's plenty of cities in the United States that deserve a team over sending one over there. Yeah,
I have a problem with this because there's what an 8 or 9 hour difference from if you fly from the East Coast to London. So like when they're playing, it's a 12-hour difference, isn't it? Because if they're playing like at 8:00 at night there, it's 8:00 in the morning here. So let's say the freaking Seattle Seahawks had to travel to London. that's what a 16-hour time difference. So I mean, it's definitely going to be a big home field advantage because that time travel it's got to be tough on any team.
Yeah, the players hate flying over there.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. When I was powering the old Twitter machine earlier today, I came upon this post saying that Cam Newton refuses to be a backup on any team. Let me repeat that. Cam Newton refuses to be a backup on any team. He thinks he can start in the NFL this year. Jameson, do you think Cam Newton can land a starting job in the NFL this season?
I think he should be able to. He should be able to start. He's better than Tyrod Taylor. He's better than Minshew. In my opinion, I would start him over Stidham in New England.
Well, let's just stop right there. Cam Newton's not going to New England. I don't think he can buy into the Belichick way.
I don't think so either. I don't think he will either.
I mean, the Chargers did draft a quarterback, so I don't think they want to put any pressure on that rookie quarterback if he happens to get a starting job, and by week 5 or week 6 when the Chargers are officially checked out. I don't think they want to end up that controversy by any means. Jacksonville thinks Minshew is their guy because they traded away Nick Foles and they didn't draft anybody So, I mean,
See, if I was the Chargers, I would sit the guy they drafted all season. I wouldn't let him play. Until because that team is built to win now. They're not. They need a veteran quarterback.
they are built to win with Tyrod Taylor. I don't think so.
No, I'm talking about everywhere else. Not Tyrod. Not Tyrod Taylor. Every other position, they're built to win right now. That's why I think a veteran quarterback would be better than a rookie.
I strongly disagree with you because if the LA Chargers thought they were built to win right now, I don't think they would have got rid of Phillip. Let's be totally honest. We forget that not last year, but the year before that, they went 13-3. They were battling for the Kansas City Chiefs for the best record in the AFC. The only reason why they were at 5th seed was because Kansas City Chiefs won the tiebreaker in a head-to-head game. They were 13-3 as a 5th seed. That's what
I'm just talking about. Yeah, I'm just talking about the other. They're good at almost every other position, on the team except for quarterback. So.
They are good, but they're not great. They won't be able to even to compete in their own division. The Chiefs are going to roll them twice. They're going to split with Las Vegas, and they're going to split with the Denver Broncos too. So right there is 4 losses right there on your record, not even getting out of the division.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I don't know who they play. I don't have their schedule right in front of me by any means. But I don't think Cam Newton is going to be the answer in L.A. Let's be totally honest.
No, once they drafted the quarterback, I think that eliminated them. Jacksonville, I think it comes back to Jacksonville. How sold is Jacksonville on Minshew?
I would say they're sold because they traded away Nick Foles and then they didn't draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, go ahead.
They don't have a veteran in there at all, though. I think it's going to get to a point where Cam eventually will take a backup job so he can stay in the NFL. But we'll see.
I think his ego is going to take over, and he's not going to sign with anybody, and hoping that somebody gets injured, by week 5 or week 6, and he is going to probably try to jump into that starting job. But
that's a possibility too.
But looking around the NFL. Those 3 teams that you mentioned are the only 3 teams that logically make sense. Possibly Oakland or Las Vegas as well. That could make sense as well. But
one more team is Washington.
Yeah, Washington is right. I think this year is a make or break for Dwayne Haskins. If he sucks it up let's say first 7 weeks of the season, do they try to make a move? What do you think on that?
I think I'm waiting to see what happens with Alex. Whether if he at some point before the season announces his retirement, because I think the Washington I think is waiting on him, to make a decision. Is he going to try and play this year? Which I think is crazy. I think he should just retire. But I think. If Alex doesn't try and get healthy and come back and play, I think they could, because they don't really have a veteran. They have Kyle. They traded for Kyle Allen, and then they have Haskins, and then it's just a bunch of guys that probably won't make the team. So I think Washington is a real possibility.
Yeah, Jameson, you don't know me real well, but I am a huge Alex Smith fan. I fell in love with him when he came to Kansas City after Kaepernick took his job. And he did some great work in Kansas City. Alex Smith is a type of player that he won't win you a lot of ball games, but he's not going to lose you a lot of ball games either. Looking at the Washington Redskins quarterback depth chart right now, they have Kyle Allen, Dwayne Haskins, Steve Montez. I don't even know who that is. He's a rookie from Colorado. So that's kind of weird that they drafted him, but I digress. And then they have Alex Smith. If I remember correctly, Alex Smith could have played toward the tail end of last season. With the injury happened in 2018, he had 16 or 17 surgeries. And a year and a half later, he was ready to play. And I really fully thought he was going to come back last season toward the tail end and play out those final four games. So I think Alex Smith is not going to retire. He is only 35 years old, 16 years in the league. So he is a crafty veteran, and they have to keep him on the roster. Do you want to know why Patrick Mahomes is so good right now? It's because he got to sit a year behind Alex Smith, learn how to be a professional quarterback, learn how to watch film, learn how to take care of your body. Yes, Patrick Mahomes has pure athletic ability, but he gained a lot of football knowledge, a lot of football IQ from Alex Smith. Alex Smith will not lead the Washington Redskins this season because they need him to look at this. Steve Montez, a rookie, Dwayne Haskins, his second year, and Kyle Allen entering his second year. I mean, they have to have him. They better pay, tons of money just to keep him on there. Let's be totally honest.
The even after the 17 surgeries, his leg still looks messed up. I don't know if it's worth the risk of trying to play football.
Well, I don't. Let's be honest. If you cut open your leg 17 times, it's going to look a little funky. Let's be totally honest.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch that Project 11?
I did. That Alex Smith is the toughest fucking player I've ever seen. Oh my goodness.
I have not got a chance to watch it yet because my ESPN Plus keeps messing up on me. But I am very intrigued. My wife follows Alex Smith's wife on Instagram, and they posted that little highlight video of it, of like him doing like all of his surgeries and like whatnot. Go ahead.
You will be amazed. That dude, it's a miracle he's walking. I'll just put it at that. It's a miracle he's walking.
Yeah, and I think to quote finish the story, the Cinderella story, he has to play a NFL game. That's why I think he won't retire. So
it'd be amazing to see him play a game. I would just be terrified of him like something really bad happening.
I think he is smart enough, and he has a great support system, aka his wife, that he will not put his body at risk if he's not prepared. Like his body's not, like his body is prepared and his mind isn't mentally prepared. Just because you are physically okay, it takes a mental aspect to get in there lock as well. Like a ACL, only takes nine months to heal. It's the mental aspect those last 3 or 4 months to get you back out on the field. So
I agree.
So this topic, Cam Newton says he will not be a backup on any team. I think that's the only way he signs onto an NFL team this season because the places that I thought he was going to go, Dallas, Jacksonville. He still has a chance to go to Jacksonville, like I guess, but I thought the Cowboys was really the only place where he was going to end up, and they just signed Andy Dalton. So
if he takes a backup job, where would you like to see him go? I think Pittsburgh would be a great choice.
I do like Pittsburgh because they are used to that big body quarterback in Big Ben, nice big strong arm. I'm not for sure who their backup is. Like I know. It's Mason Rudolph. I thought he was third string because the second string got injured the same game that Big Ben got injured, if I wasn't mistaken. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, it's Mason Rudolph, and then they got that other dude that played a little bit, and then they got the former Bronco quarterback. They got like 5 quarterbacks. They got
so they have J.T. Barrett, Delvin Hodges, Paxton Lynch is the Denver quarterback you're referring to, Ben Roethlisberger, and then Mason Rudolph like as well. So looking at their years of experience and the roster, Paxton Lynch does have 4 years. Delvin Hodges has 2 years. J.T. Barrett 1 year experience, obviously, and then Mason Rudolph is entering his 3rd year. So looking at him, I don't know.
Big Ben never stays healthy. So if I was Cam, if I could get an offer from Pittsburgh, I would jump at it.
Yeah, the only thing I want to see how Paxton Lynch plays in the preseason. Because I haven't been fully sold on Paxton Lynch when he was a Denver Bronco. So I would be curious to see how he does in a Pittsburgh Steelers system, offensive series, and like how he interacts with Tomlin on the sidelines. That will tell me a lot of how he carries himself and like whatnot. So where I would like to see Cam Newton, I don't want to see him in the AFC West, to be totally honest, because I think he would do good things in Las Vegas or in Denver's Broncos uniform. And the reason why I don't want him to go to those two teams, because I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I would like to see him go to like a Miami Dolphins. I'm not sold on any other quarterbacks over there besides Rosen, but for some reason the Miami Dolphins, they're not going to give Rosen a chance. I mean, the Jets have Sam Darnold. I think he's their franchise quarterback. I don't know.
If I was the Dolphins, I would cut Fitzpatrick, sign Cam Newton, and trade Rosen somewhere else.
Yeah,
and then have Newton be the quarterback starter until next offseason. He can hit the open market. I'd only give him 1 year, and then Tua goes from there. I'm
going to go out on a limb and say Cam Newton signed with the Houston Texans because Watson is not happy there since they let Hopkins go, and what better way to have a nice bargaining chip as Cam Newton as a backup quarterback to Deshaun Watson, because he is entering his 5th year, I do believe so. He's due for a contract as well. So to keep the prices down on Deshaun Watson, like, hey, if you don't take our offer, we got Cam Newton setting here. So who knows? Moving on here. Speaking of free agency and where teams will land, there are still some 4 pretty big names yet to land. Cam Newton, we already kind of brought up and I talked about, and you have Leonard Fournette, Jadeveon Clowney, and Dak Prescott. Let me start with Leonard Fournette. Where do you think Leonard Fournette is going to play his 2020 NFL season?
Honestly, I would love it if he either. I would like if he went to Tampa or just stayed in Jacksonville. Let him finish out that rookie contract and then hit the open market.
Yeah,
but Tampa. I guess if he was going to leave, I would say Tampa. But I've already seen reports that they said they turned down any kind of trade for him. So.
Yeah, I don't think he finishes out his this season in Jacksonville. I think the writing on the wall is is already there. He's kind of wore out his. It just they just don't mesh quite well. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the LA Rams. The Rams let Gurley go. I believe he's with the Falcons now, if I'm not mistaken. The Rams do have the running back. Name slip in my mind, but he is consistently injured all the time. So
yeah, they got to figure something out with their salary cap because they got negative cap space. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
They will probably restructure Jared Goff's contract if Leonard Fournette says, "I want to go be a Ram, I want to go win a Super Bowl." I bet you Jared Goff will restructure his contract, make it so Leonard Fournette can come there and make some money. I mean, Leonard Fournette is a talent that you cannot just let slip away. Jacksonville, I think they're in tank for Lawrence, the Clemson quarterback. They're kind of in tank mode, I think. So
I think that's why they haven't. I think that is why they haven't signed Cam and why they're sticking with the other guy because that Minshew is Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, that's who he is. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
He'll win you a couple games, but he's not going to get you to the playoffs. He's going to win you enough games to keep you away from a good quarterback. That's what he's going to do.
Right. So with that being said, the Jacksonville Jaguars are doing what Miami did last year. They're getting away of all their assets and going to get 4 or 5 first-round picks and be rebuild mode and be instantly contenders in that division, more than likely. So I think Leonard Fournette ends up in a Rams uniform or Arizona Cardinals. Next up, you have Jadeveon Clowney asking for a lot of money. Seahawks said no. I believe he was in talks with the Bears as well. They said no. Where does Clowney end up 2020 season?
I would love it. It would be crazy and totally in Cleveland. It would be nuts, but because Cleveland's got like 38 million in cap space, they could free up about 17 more if they cut that Olivier Vernon, because he's got no dead cap hit, and so he's got no guaranteed money at all. And if they cut him, they sign Clowney. You have Clowney on one side, Myles Garrett on the other.
Yeah, that would
be ridiculous.
That does sound dangerous. It sounds intriguing, but hypothetically, I don't think he ends up there, because who wants to go to Cleveland? If you had a choice, who wants to go to Cleveland right now? They are the habitual losers. If you want to be 8-8, awesome, go to Cleveland. Sorry, Cleveland Brown fans, but that is just the way it is. Give me a 9-7 win season. 2 out of 3 years, I might change my tune a little bit, but it's not going to happen. You guys are habitual losers.
How many games do you think they would win if they signed him?
I don't
see that scenario.
The problem with the Cleveland Browns is they find different ways to lose. They will they will be able to take a knee and they fumble the snap, and the defense scoops and scores a touchdown, and they lose by 5. I mean, that is the problem with the Cleveland Browns is they find new ways to lose all the time. I don't think adding somebody like Clowney will. I don't think Clowney is a game-changing defensive player. I believe I saw a stat on Facebook that per 90 snaps last season he got 1 sack.
Oh,
what is that going to do for you in a Cleveland Browns uniform? Okay, so
hopefully in that situation he'd be able to produce more than that.
Well, like I just saw a comment on our YouTube channel. Hey, guys, we just launched a YouTube channel. Go ahead and search for Just for Clicks there. The video is streaming right there. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But they said the reason why he was not getting sacks was because he was getting double teamed. What? No, he wasn't. Did you watch the Seattle Seahawks games? He was flat out lazy. It's simple as that. He was lazy all season. He would turn the gas on for about 4 or 5 plays, look like the Clowney of old back when he was in Texans, like his 2nd or 3rd year, and then he was just straight trash for the rest of the game. He was physically out of shape. That's what it appeared to me. I don't think he will give the Cleveland Browns 2 more wins on a season. I just don't think he is that type of player right now. But I could see him getting more production because he does have somebody else on the other side that you have to worry about. But I think his ego would get to him like, hey, you guys supposed to worry about me. I'm the best. I want a $45 million contract. Yada yada yada. I just don't think that is going to happen. He is going to go to a team that he is going to be a star on. You know who that team is going to be? The Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs need defensive line help, and they can wiggle around. Like, I'm not a salary cap expert like you by any means whatsoever, but I think they can wiggle around and they can find $15 million to pay Clowney. We signed Chris Jones to a franchise tag. I was not impressed by Chris Jones last year. Let's be totally honest. I was not impressed by Chris Jones. People hyped him up. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is by any means. They hyped him up. I was like, what? We're paying this guy this much money? Get out of here with that.
For that to happen, they need to free up at minimum $10 million because they only have 5 right now.
Well, I mean, that is me speaking as a fan, but as my heart said, or like as my head is telling me, I think he's going to end up in Seattle still. I think he will ultimately take a big pay cut, make like $10 million a year, or like make what he was making last year, and they're going to try to run it back again and see what happens.
as a 49ers fan, I hope not. I hope he goes anywhere. Just get out of that division.
Yeah,
Get out of that division.
So, go ahead.
I agree. I understand with what you're saying in Cleveland, but like, yeah, if he went to Cleveland, they wouldn't be. That would. I just think that would be. They got the money. They got the money to afford him to. So I think that's where he's probably going to go. I did hear something about the Jets looking at him and bringing him and Logan Ryan in. And then there's rumors about Dallas, but that just, that doesn't make any sense because they don't got no cap space either. So
yeah, I think the Cowboys. I wish I had Marcus as Pork Streak on because Marcus is a Cowboys insider. He used to write for the Cowboys, and he was the insider, or still is the insider for the Dallas Cowboys. He could tell me any talks about that whatsoever. So maybe we'll have him on next week and talk about that if Clowney hasn't signed anywhere yet. But the last person we've alluded to him pretty much all show, Dak Prescott. Where do you think he ends up?
He'll probably stay in Dallas, most likely, but I would love it. I would find it hysterical if Cowboys just rescinded the offer and let him walk, because really the only teams that need a quarterback, you could possibly need a quarterback that would take him probably is Washington. I think would definitely take him because they got the cap space. And then Jacksonville and New England can't afford him, so it would either be Washington or Jacksonville.
I don't think New England would risk a person like Dak Prescott on their team. I don't think he would buy into the Belichick way, just like Cam Newton wouldn't. But he is going to end up in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. He will ultimately sign some type of deal, maybe $80 to $100 million if he has a successful season this season. Everything's riding on this season. But with that being said, he has to be a Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys let go of Cooper Rush, which was the backup quarterback earlier today, which Andy Dalton ultimately will take that second spot. I do believe, but if Dak Prescott is worried about Andy Dalton taking his starting job, consistently looking over his shoulder, looking over his shoulder and not worrying about him like himself, he is going to find himself as a backup role on somebody like the Cleveland Browns. Players get sent to the Cleveland Browns places to die. Let's just be totally honest. Sorry, Browns fans. That's just the way it is. So those are big four names that have not signed yet in the free agency: Cam Newton, Leonard Fournette, Jadeveon Clowney, and Dak Prescott. Guys, let us know where you think they will end up in the comments. Go ahead.
There is one other name that we haven't mentioned, Devontae Freeman. Where do you think he ends up?
I have no clue. Not one thing comes to my mind with Freeman.
Well, as a Niners fan, I would take him because they traded Matt Burrito away. So, and if Jarek McKinnon doesn't make the roster, I would definitely take Devontae Freeman.
Well, you need to stop speaking as a fan and speak as an analyst here. Where do you think he fits the best?
Well, I think he fits in Kyle Shanahan's system pretty good. I think I was also hearing rumors about Jacksonville. If they get rid of Fournette, he could replace him. And then Tampa Bay.
The problem with that though is I think we're on the same page saying that Jacksonville is in rebuild mode. They're not going to take anybody that is worth a talent to like not give them that first overall pick. But let's go ahead and move on here. The last couple minutes of the show, guys. As always, thank you for joining us. If you are new to our Facebook page, consider liking that page and just share this with a friend as well. So, Jameson, the draft is over. Teams have signed their free agents. They've signed their draft picks. The teams are starting to take shape here 100%. So I'm going to give you what the new NFL power rankings are post-draft. And I want you to tell me if you agree or disagree with these picks after I read through the top 10. After I'm done, You go ahead and give me your top 10 and tell me what you think and like whatnot. So post-draft NFL power rankings, as of right now, the number one is Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, it's Super Bowl champs. I don't think you can bump them out of the first place spot. They had a fairly decent draft. Number two, unchanged, as Baltimore Ravens as well. Number three, unchanged, your San Francisco 49ers. Number four, unchanged from pre-draft, the New Orleans Saints. Number five, Seattle Seahawks. They jumped from number 6 to number 5 post-draft. Dropping from 5 to 6 is the Green Bay Packers with that crazy draft and all this crazy drama that's happening over there now. Up from number 10 to number 7 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dropping to 7 to number 8 is the Tennessee Titans. Dropping from 8 to number 9, the Minnesota Vikings. And moving up from 11 to 10 is the Dallas Cowboys. Do you agree with those top 10 power rankings currently in the NFL?
No.
What is your top 10?
Obviously, the Super Bowl champs have to stay one. So that one, and then I would put San Francisco at 2 because I think they had a better draft than they had a better draft and free agency than the Ravens did. Then I would I'd probably put the Saints at 3, the Ravens at 4. Five, I would go with Tampa. 6. I'll go with 6, Seattle. 7, Dallas. 8, Arizona. 9 and 10.
Let me go ahead and stop you right there.
Green.
You have number 8 Arizona Cardinals. If you want an 8 and 8 team, actually 7 and 9 team in the top 10 power rankings, all for it. That means you can throw the Buffalo Bills up there, the New York Jets, and the Miami Dolphins too. Just throw all the 500 teams up in the top 10. Are you crazy? Arizona Cardinals number 8?
I think they're gonna have a great year. And speaking of Buffalo, I'd probably put them at 9.
Yeah, I have to bring in on and off the field Durf. Thinks they're going to go 11 and 5. Get out of here, man. 8 and 8. Sorry.
I think they'll be like a 9 and 7 or 10 and 6 team. I think they'll be towards the top. I think they're gonna win that division pretty easily. But yeah, I think 3 teams from the NFC West are gonna make the playoffs.
Let me tell you who the real top 10 power rankings are right now in the NFL. Are you ready for the true bare bones top 10? Number 1 has got to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl champs. They didn't lose anybody. They added linebacker depth in Gay. They added a good running back. I think they have like 5 running backs on the roster right now, including Shady McCoy, still on the roster. So
Shady McCoy's not on the roster.
He just signed earlier today. I'm not for sure if it's a guaranteed contract by any means, but he was pictured in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform signing something. So that was on his Instagram page. Number 2, I'm going to go to the New Orleans Saints. They have Drew Brees, they have Michael Thomas, and their draft was pretty good. Where they had 3 picks in the draft, I got to go with them. Number 3, are you ready for this one? The Dallas Cowboys. They are the best team on paper, hands down. New coach, Dak Prescott, is going to be hungry because he has Andy Dalton breathing down his neck saying, mess up, boy, mess up, or I'm going to take your spot. Look for a new Dak Prescott in the 2020 season. He is going to be MVP caliber Dak Prescott. Number 3, Dallas Cowboys. Number 4, then you had the Baltimore Ravens here. The only reason why is because Lamar Jackson is a pretty good regular season quarterback. Let me repeat that. Regular season quarterback. Playoffs, they're going to be bounced out in the first round, no matter what. Number 5, I do like the Seattle Seahawks still. If you have Russell Wilson on your team, you're guaranteed eight wins. And then with the addition of that 6'7" tight end that they signed in the NFL draft, and Tyler Lockett, my man from Kansas State, that is a 9-10 week team right there. Number 6, I got to go with the Green Bay Packers like as well. When you have that bad man Aaron Rodgers on your team, that's guaranteed 9 wins. Name me one season Aaron Rodgers doesn't have 9 wins that he played a full 16-game CC season. I don't think you can. Number 7.
I just don't think the supporting cast is good enough.
As of right now, wait till they sign and Antonio Brown in a couple weeks. Breaking news there, huh? Number 7, I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. I like how they finished out the season last year. I think they're going to start off on the same foot, running the ball down your throat. Tannehill is still going to play out of his mind. I'm not saying they're going to finish it in the top 10, but the first 4 weeks of the season, they're going to be up there. Number 8. This pains me to say, but I got to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. If they're healthy, they are a playoff bound team. They are probably a division winning team if they're healthy. If the wide receivers can catch the ball and they stay healthy, they are a playoff bound team. Number 9, I got to go with the Indianapolis Colts. With the addition of Phillip Rivers to that roster, they drafted Jacob Eason in the draft. He is going to be damn good in a couple years. Jacob Eason gets a chance to sit behind Phillip Rivers for 2 seasons. Well, 1 full season for sure, but probably 2. Look for them to be good for a very, very long time. Plus, they have Maryland Mack. If he is able to play 16 full games, they are a AFC Championship caliber team.
Do you think Jonathan Taylor takes his job?
I don't think so. If you look at the running backs around the NFL, it is a running back by committee right now. You have two backs, and I think you have to start Maryland Mack because he's been there, but Taylor is definitely going to get his fair share of carries. If he is available on your fantasy team, round 9 or 10, you definitely got to scoop him up because he'll get you 10, 11 points week in and week out. And my dark horse, number 10, you're not even going to think about this whatsoever. Are you ready for this? Can you handle this?
Go ahead. Houston
Texans. I think the Houston Texans are going to be a damn good team this season. They added Randall Cobb. People say Randall Cobb's best years are past him. He's going to have one hell of a season down there in Houston. They still have Deshaun Watson. You have Deshaun Watson on the team. He's guaranteed 8 wins. He can single-handedly put any team on his back, get you 8 wins, just like Russell Wilson does. So
they got Cobbs. They got Kenny Stills and Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is a walking concussion, though. And then they got Floyd or whatever his name is.
Yeah, but be prepared for this dark horse though. I want to see what they kind of do in the preseason, but I like the Detroit Lions. I like what they're doing over there.
I think Detroit has an opportunity to surprise some people.
If you watch the previous show when me and Mike were picking the division winners just off the top of our heads, I had the Detroit Lions winning that division over the Vikings, over the Packers.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I think the Detroit Lions got something cooking there. They are sold on Matt Stafford because I was speaking earlier before the draft. I said, this will tell you where the Detroit Lions are in their heads. If they draft a quarterback, they are in rebuild mode. If they don't draft a quarterback, they are planning to win in the next 2 seasons. This year is going to be a huge stepping zone for them. Look for them to go 9-7 and win that division.
One of my friends played high school football with Matt Stafford. He used to live in Texas.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love knowing people that are a part of the NFL and whatnot. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Join us tomorrow, same time, same place. If you're watching us on live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, 9:30 East Coast time, feel free to jump in the chat. And all we ask you to do is share this with a couple friends, guys. But as always, I am Mike Buckheister. Jameson, thank you for joining me as always. He is the man behind the Facebook page. Always a pleasure, bud. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Just for Clicks, featuring your host, Michael Buckheister. Tune in next time once again for Just for Clicks.